And thank you so much for being with us. Really nice to be with you today at Frick and Frack. We've been having a good time visiting with Whispering Danny across the street and drinking some of Rudy's coffee. It's time now to do some videos for a week. We'll have the same clothes on this week. And we're going to look at a great passage in Isaiah where it says, this is Isaiah chapter 57, verse 14. It shall be said, build up, prepare the way, remove every obstacle from my people's way. For thus says the high and lofty one who inhabits eternity, whose name is holy. I dwell in the high and holy place, but also with those who are contrite and humble in spirit, to revive the spirit of the humble and to revive the heart of the contrite. Let's just stop for a moment. Rudy, why don't you respond to those verses?
Well, we talked about this in a few videos ago about what God is looking for and this humble and contriteness.
Right.
And pride is probably the largest human obstacle to know God and to know God intimately. And so humble is the opposite of pride, and contriteness is about being broken. So for me, contrition usually comes before I understand pride. When I realize what I've been doing and the overview of what it is, when it's not really right in front of me and I see how wrong it was, my heart's broken and I realize why I was in that condition is because I was being willful instead of being willing.
Right.
And I really do like that colloquialism that you...
I stole that from a book, by the way.
Well, it was a good one.
Yeah.
But the fact is I've been doing that all along. I just really never had a small amount of words to say it. And so this was given to Isaiah 2,700 years ago, and we should probably be thinking about that today. And it's like, what is it that we perceive to be correct that's wrong? And because nobody's perfect, you definitely have something like that going on in your life. The evil one, in my experience, tells two lies at the same time. One that's easily identified, and the other one, over time, is just as deadly, a small lie that you overlook because you feel good about yourself because you recognize the big one.
That's worth thinking about, definitely.
Yes.
As I respond to this, there's a couple of things that just jump out to me. One of them is that God is infinitely beyond us.
Well, he does say he inhabits eternity.
Right. So he is the high, he lives with high in a holy place, but he also lives with the contrite. And I tried to understand the word contrite and put it into a sermon a few years ago, and I found out in the parking lot of the church a rock. And it was about that big around. And I brought it in, and I then pulled a vase up from the, we have flowers in front of the pulpit, and I pulled up that vase, and I said, you know, there's no way this rock will fit in this vase. But if you crush this rock, it can be molded to the contour of the vase. Well, that's me. God wants my heart to be like Christ. But if it's hard and it's like a rock, I can't be molded the way he wants to mold me. But if he crushes me, and he's pleased to do that from time to time, if he crushes me, then I can be molded. And Rudy, you talked a lot about how God's meeting with us is in the inside of our lives, our heart, our mind, our emotions, our will, our thoughts. And if I am hard there, he really can't meet me.
No, he can't.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So the process of having a conversation with God brings you to the reality of your thoughts are not as high as his thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, that's why it's so necessary to be in relationship with him, because we are so easily drawn anybody that thinks about things like this knows full well how easily you're pulled off the path. And the only place of safety is really in that relationship and what he tells you to do next.
Right. I used to listen to I'm sure he's been dead for several years, an old Texas preacher. And one of his things was, pray to be broken, pray to be broken. Kind of a gravelly voice, I could sort of imagine him. And I don't know that I want to pray to be broken, but we should not resist when God is breaking us. Our pride, I know it all, I know how to plan my life out, God just come bless me. That may cause me to miss God's best for my life.
Well,
Go ahead.
over the years, being broken, I've been thankful for. Not exactly when it was happening.
No, sir. Looking back on it.
And really, it's not in the far distant past. It happens. The more you know the Lord, the quicker it happens within time.
Right.
And that actually is what the response ought to be, is like, if I've really done something wrong, I hope that I realize it sooner than later.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir, and thank you for listening. God bless you. We'll be back tomorrow.